with you guys. And that is that Zach goes to a homeschool co-op. And I went to the homeschool co-op. And this is for all you parents. Who are my parents out there? Go in the chat, go in the comment section, say me. Who are my parents out there? I had a great parent moment where, and this is really for all entrepreneurs, when you have a moment that you're like, oops, how did I miss that? So I go to the homeschool co-op. There's like a lot of kids there. There's hundreds of kids there. And I go bring them, and there's this fiesta morning. Like it's a fiesta morning. It's like parents meet the homeschool teachers that are helping, and the kids are going to play with you, and like we're going to do circle ups. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just became the PTA mom, and I have no idea what's going on. And as he's coming up, hey Zach. Okay, this is such a great parent moment. Zachy. I love lives like this. Zachy, you want to be with me? Okay, can you give me like 20 minutes? Can you take that? Okay, you got two choices. You can hand me that iPad, or you can take it downstairs. What do you want to do? Yeah, you can do it in the bedroom. So I go to obviously I can see Zach's home with me now. We go to the homeschool co-op, and I'm like, I've got Coach with Shanda at 10. And I'm like, I can't be here till 11. And I had one of those moments where, like, I bet in the day I probably could have felt guilt around that because we were in Florida. You know what I mean? Like I missed an email somewhere. I did call Deidre. If Deidre's watching right now, she's our VP of coaching. And she was like, oh no, I saw that. And her son's home with her today, and they're off doing something else with family. But that's kind of the cool thing about homeschooling, is that you can have this flexibility. And what's really cool is this morning, and this is where the guilt unhooks. This morning, my son, he works out every morning. So he worked out this morning. Him and I sat here at the counter for almost an hour this morning and practiced his writing and talked about the value of understanding how to write and read. And he's almost a year ahead of his age. And so I share all of this because of the fact that as you guys, especially you guys who are parents, as we're building our businesses and as these moments happen, it's really important to look at how are you running all the different areas of your life so that you don't feel like the guilt, the shame, and don't let anybody put that on top of you. Like, and I know that like you guys who are not parents, guilt and shame might come up like when you didn't work out, or when like maybe you have a marriage or a relationship that you're dropping the ball in, like how I dropped the ball in the Fiesta meeting this morning. It's like, it doesn't feel as bad when you drop the ball if you can look at the structure of the rest of your life and find a way to make those things a priority. You know what I mean? Like clearly my son's a priority and his education is a priority, but I'm not going to beat myself up. In fact, I'm laughing at myself because I was sneaking my kid back out the door. I'm like, hey, Zach, you want to leave? And I go, you want to come with me? And he goes, no. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. I goes, why don't you just leave me here and I'll play with the kids? I'm like, well, because they're kind of expecting me to stay here with you. And he goes, okay, all right, I'll come with you. And he goes, how did you miss that, Mom? And I'm like, I missed an email, buddy. And he's like, I don't know how you do that. And I was like, remember the jet skis we were on in Florida? he's like, yeah. I was like, we did our bonding time there, so I'm just sharing this because I'm just having just that normal moment as a human being. And I think sometimes when you look at people on Instagram and Facebook and the fact that we run an 8-figure company and have another company, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like so often you think that, I'm not saying you think I have it all together, but it's easy for me to think other people have it all together, and it's just really important to unhook from that. It's about building. It's not about doing it perfect. Cool. Okay. So it's hot seat. Who wants to hot seat? Who wants to hot seat? All right, Sherry, let's roll. Sherry is the only one who raised her hand. Just FYI.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm amazing. I'm absolutely amazing today, and I appreciate seeing you because it pumps up my energy.
So good. I love it. Okay, so where are you having a challenge right now? And before you go into that with me, Guys, like something you're going to see pumping out a lot between now and the next couple months with you is focusing on sales and enrollments. Okay. Because I want everybody to think Black Friday is coming up. I mean, I know it's not November yet, but it's coming up. And whether you live in Canada, you live in America, whatever, when you're building a business, like globally, because many of you guys are global at this point, you want to take advantage of the last quarter of the year. You are all going to pull out your credit cards. And so are your customers and clients. And we're going to spend money, and many of us are going to spend money on things that don't multiply or create value in our life. Do you hear what I'm saying? So just for a second, go in the chat or comment section and tell us what industry you're in. Are you in the relationship industry? Are you in the meditation, God, fitness, nutrition, business? What industry are you in? Clutter, right? That's life, right? Self-development. So go in the comments in the chats and just put what industry you're in. Okay. So you need to know in all of these industries, people are going to pull out their credit cards and they're going to invest. And you need to look at like what you wrote down. Like I said, branding, interior design, there are all these things for the client that it's a priority for them. Even interior design. Like I literally said to my husband, like we're designing a new house right now. And it's important to me to have the right person that helps. Like these are areas that people get value out of. And so if you're not out there making offers, or you feel weird about sales, or you feel weird about money, then we need to get over that now. It's like I say to my son, like the reason why he's so good at video games is because he practices. The reason why he's so good at karate is because he practices. The reason why he's extraordinary at math, my son will choose a math program to watch online than like Sonic, like a cartoon, and he's so good at math. So what we practice, we get good at. I know you know that, but for gosh sakes, Black Friday's coming up. Are you thinking about what you're going to offer on Black Friday? I know the exact days, and I did this yesterday, not forever ago. I have a 3-day Black Friday sale going on. You know what I mean? Like I know exactly what I'm going to offer. And we're starting to look at building that out right now. But as far as like content, like from us, we're going to really focus on a lot of sales right now between now and the end of the year. So Sherry, I don't know if you have a sales conversation for me or question, but if you do, I think that would be smart.
Okay. So I've been clubs. So I've been getting a lot of that really amazing training. And it's really challenged me to think about sales differently because I was in sales for many years. So now I love the shift that's happening in my mind to serve.
Yeah, you guys, we have something called, who's in our club? The club, who's in that? Go put club in the chat or the comment section. So she's in our club. And the reason why we don't teach our club once or twice in a month, we teach it 6 times in a month, is because sales needs consistency, right? Like I have a client that just messaged me and said she has a salesperson that's selling with her. And Sherry, where'd you go up there? She has a salesperson that's selling with her, and she had 5 enrollment conversations and she enrolled all 5. And I said to her, why don't you sit down with your salesperson and create a plan where you have 5 people in front of her every day and start working out what would be her commission split. And then what can she bank on from you? What can she rely on for you? Many of you guys, I'm teaching you how to build list builds, right? Like gives you a new value and create like you putting your attention on list build. And great salespeople, by the way, are often either yourself or past clients of yours that are raving fans, So, okay. So you're in the club and you're having a major shift around your sales. Is there anything I can help you on with that?
I'm having a problem, a challenge, my mindset when it comes to holding the line. So I've done list builds, and when I'm reaching out to speakers, I want their content so bad in my event that I waver on the 5,000. I do it to myself every time. I tell myself, you're not going to give in. You're not going to do, and then I do.
Okay. Do you write yourself?
I know it's a pattern.
Do you write yourself a note and put it next to you?
A lot of times, yes, but I haven't done that.
You just said, so then okay, this doesn't sound pretty. Okay, but you need to, in my opinion, you need to get really connected with the cost of you not holding the line. So let me be really honest with you.
Yeah.
Sherry, you are lying to all the speakers who go on your online show every time that you allow somebody on that doesn't have a list build minimum. You're lying to people. And so I want her to get the real cost. So you're deciding to break your integrity to feel better. And I don't know if that's okay with you, but like think about the people that you love in your life. Are you going to do you justify them lying to you? Is that okay? Like I see a little kid behind you, right? Is it okay for that? Is it a little boy?
It's a little boy, yes.
Okay. So is it okay for that little boy to lie to you?
Mm, no.
Right? And
Right.
so you guys have to get this. Like if a virtual assistant was building out your speakers like line and said to you, Sherry, you said this is the program. They have to have a minimum of 5,000 people to be interviewed on our show. And they said, pretend I'm your virtual assistant. You said, Shanda, did they all hit the list minimum? And I said, yes, Sherry, they did. And I lied.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, do you see how like integrity is huge? You know, so whatever you have to say, however you have to language it to the person, you know, and what's amazing is the truth is that there's millions and millions and millions of people in everybody's industry that does have the list build minimum. I know we like to believe because it's like we're in a relationship that's not working. They're the problem. I'm telling you, they're the problem. It's like, no, that person, like this person won't marry me. They're just uncommittal. And then the next person they meet, they marry. I mean, I see that stuff all the time. They're not uncommittal. The way you show up makes them feel uncertain to propose. You know, like we have to take responsibility that what we're getting in life, period, is how we're showing up. It's just feedback. And so it's very powerful when you can look at feedback and go, okay, if I don't like the feedback, I don't need to shut down, like feel beat up, feel defeated. Like that's just such a wasted way of dealing with feedback. You turn around, you go, okay, I don't like the feedback. And so you go, well, how could I lead this differently? So when these experts come to you and they say they don't have the list minimum, you need to realize that you're a liar if you let them on. And so if you want to own that, that's up to you. But I don't think that's an identity you want to own, but it's the truth every time you do it. So even if you have to say something like that, like, you know what, unfortunately, I have promised the other people on here that everybody who's being interviewed will have a minimum list build of 5,000. It's the only way that the model works. And introduce them to us, right? Email Jim at heartcorebusiness.com, put a subject line, introduction. And then if those people end up becoming customers or clients of ours, we will pay you at $500 per person. I mean, why wouldn't you hook them up? Do you know what I'm saying? And make money while you're doing this, because currently you're going to pass this stage where you reach out to people and you have more people that don't have the list minimum size. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Like she's going to pass this stage, and what's going to happen is the way she thinks, the way she shows up to look for experts, she will start finding a bunch of experts. Like there's a tipping point that happens where everybody has the list minimum size. But while you're in this part of your learning, your leadership, however you think, like whatever you're Googling to find these people or whatever you're Amazon searching, your mindset is attracting to the dollar amount that you're already making. And so you might as well turn it right there and start a referral system with us and make money, because this moment's going to go away. Do you know what I mean? Why not monetize your education? Can you all hear that? Who's doing this stuff? It's mind boggling to me. Why? Because some people go, oh, I don't want to do that for HeartCore. You're not doing it for HeartCore. You're doing it for people. And you're also doing it for yourself. You know, it's like people get so messed up about referrals and this, that, and the other. It's like, like wake up. You know what I mean? Like just wake up, because this moment's going to pass, Cheryl, where you can't monetize this step because you just won't be thinking like this anymore. So these people who come into contact with you, you're a blessing because you have a way for them. and you're not going to be a liar anymore, right? And you're going to monetize this step. So it doesn't feel like a waste of time talking to these people. It feels like, oh, well, some of these people are going to end up going to HeartCore and becoming clients, and I'm going to get a referral fee. So if I get $1,500 and 3 people out of 20 enroll with them, and I make $1,500 for the month, and I talk to 30 that weren't good fits, and okay, you made 2 months of car payments or 3 months of car payments. Why? Like, this is what money is so easy to make. People are so unwilling to make it. You know what I mean? Because they get in their own way. Don't do that. So can you do that now moving forward?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That helped a lot. One of the things I love about you the most is that you use real language that I need to call me out.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Well, it helps you to really identify what's happening. And like now you will have the courage to say to that person and say, you know what, but if you want to connect with the company that's helping me do this, and because I would highly suggest it, then I can do an email introduction for you to Jim.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And they're going to say yes or no. And almost always they say yes.
That's awesome.
Well, we have a client that did that in our programs, and she sent 3 people over and all 3 enrolled. $1,500 a day for that person. You know, why would you leave that on the table? Awesome. So much love. Let's take one more person. You're welcome, Cheryl. Let's take one more person. Who's up? Raise your hand. Get excited. Let's see. Lisa. Let's go, Lisa.
Okay.
What I love about Lisa, she's always willing to step up.
Oh, well, thank you.
So good.
Right, now,
what's your question for me, Lisa?
So I'm really trying to get past this point and about who is my market that I'm trying to reach. And
how long are you planning on battling this step?
I would like it to be over.
Okay, so
stretching for by Monday.
Okay, so has anybody heard me ever say money loves speed?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the speed in which we make a decision imperfectly. And I know you guys have all heard imperfect action, but for gosh sakes, do you need to hear it for another 3 years? Like just make a decision. So every time you make a decision, you get more clarity. So you just have to risk, like if you're in the list building stage, it's like risk building a list to people who are not exactly your ideal client. Okay. So one of the girls that I went on vacation with to Florida just last week with, we've known each other for 30 years. She's been a friend of mine since high school. And I'm super honored to coach her. And she literally, her first list build, I can't remember what her first list build was on. I think it was confidence. Her second list build, she decided she battled credibility. What are my people that need to be credible? I need more credibility. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, no, I do. So like didn't take the coaching. So she paid a bunch of money to go to nutrition school, holistic nutrition. She's like, well, I've always liked nutrition, right? She's always been into fitness. So she learns nutrition. Some of you guys might have heard me say this story before. I feel like I've said it before in the last couple months. So she went and she got certified, and then she did a list build around that. And then she sold confidence first, then she sold nutrition second. And then she was working with all these people who are extraordinarily obese. Now she has no understanding of that. She has no empathy around that because she's never been that way, right? One of the powerful things in life is to look at your life and look, where do you have an experience with? Everybody thinks they need to learn more. That's the long approach to making money. Start with where you're at. What do you know now? You don't need a certification. I mean, I think Dean and Tony have done a great job at trying to expand that for people. Like we live in a world that people, they want your education, right? And your education, let me say wisdom. So if you've raised a child, but you're not a child psychologist or a parenting coach, but you raised a child really well. Think about that child specifically. Where were they challenging? Where were they not? And you could lead gen a group of people that have that child and get paid really well to gain your experience. You know what I mean? Like, and then it keeps expanding from there. So when I started my business, I didn't know if I wanted to talk about God or business. That's where I was like, because what was so important to me was having a deep relationship with God, my spirituality, and I felt strong there. And every time I spoke about business, I was super esoteric because I spent so much time in the spiritual world. Anybody else feel me on that? And so, however, everybody who came forward were just like me, and I got paid. Okay. And they got helped. I got paid. So the longer you take, Lisa, and I'm not just speaking to Lisa, in making a decision because you're trying to figure out your avatar. And let me tell you something. We just recorded a video sales letter yesterday here. And while they're asking me questions, I said, please don't use the word avatar with me. Why? Because it has so much pressure that I cannot show up and answer the questions as well. So I know that you feel like you need to have all this stuff figured out, but you don't. You need to care about people. You need to build a buyer's list. We talk about that all the time. And you need to make a decision. What group am I willing to serve right now with the best of my abilities? Okay. So Lisa, what would that be for you? Who would be the person?
Real estate backed financing.
Okay. So what is the customer or client that you would feel like you would like to really help with this real estate stuff?
Investors.
Great. That's I did all investors when I did real estate. I did really well. You know what I mean? So that's a very specific target audience. So
I'm trying to figure out how they would have the email list.
I developed this whole model of that.
That was
developed off of real estate investors. I actually used to partner with real estate investment groups, and I would have them send emails to their list, and it would come back, and I would do a conference call. It wasn't Zoom back then. It was an audio conference call, probably freeconferencecalling.com. And I would talk about deals that I had available for investing. So like pre-construction real estate or high rises or rehabs or, luxury condos, in rental pools, whatever. Right. And so I would ask the investment group, what are you influencing your investment group on? And then I would just match the product to what they were already influencing. And that's how you make a lot of money, you guys. And then it dawned on me when I started a coaching company, I was like, shoot, like I don't have that email list. Why do you think I do what I do? Because I had a great idea with no buyers. A great idea with no buyers means you're broke forever. And it's like nothing moves fast, right? So you want to build that list of investors. So why don't you do a whole show where investors are literally sharing what they think is the smartest investments over the next 2 years as a real estate investor, and they can all share it. Call it the Investor Club, investorclublive.com, and interview all these people.
Wow. It's a great idea.
But a great idea is only as good as you executing it.
Yes.
So there's so many investment groups out there. I developed our entire list building model off that world. They are more than willing to mail their lists. They would love to be on the show. And, and what you need to tell them is you're going to be introduced to a lot. You're going to be introduced to, 10, 15 other investment clubs. And what's really powerful about that is people are going to get to know you that they don't know you now.
Wow.
Make sense?
Yes.
So good.
Awesome.
All right, Lisa.
Thank you.
Go meet with a virtual assistant today and literally plan this out. Put your dates on the calendar and 30 generator emails a day. Okay? All right, guys, we're gonna wrap, and I will definitely see you next Thursday. And keep your eyes open because I am developing out. Who's done the revenue challenge before? Has anybody done the revenue challenge before? Okay, so we are developing out a new revenue challenge that is very heavy on enrollment and sales. And so we were building it out for hours yesterday, and it's coming up in a couple weeks. And you haven't seen anything with it yet because we haven't sent anything out about it. But I am committed to really having you develop something for Black Friday that is going to monetize and is going to rock. And I'm really committed to really systemizing the sales and enrollment process in your business. I want everybody to have a great holiday season this year. I really do. I actually had tears in my eyes yesterday when I was thinking about all these families that have lost income and either like a spouse or a roommate, or you know what I mean, that there's people who have lost income. I have seen the most amount of wealth be created in businesses that have great leadership. You know what I mean? Like the people who can run up, when I say leadership, it's like you run up against a stuck problem and you solve it and go all the way through it. You know, that's great leadership. Is you come up, you get stuck, triggered, angry, frustrated, whatever, don't know how to get through it, and you actually solve your way right through it. That's leadership. So the companies who have had great leadership have had their best years ever. And then there's all these people being left on the side of the street that literally just are suffering. And I just want to do everything I can to share my leadership around sales and around enrollment and around systemizing that. And we're bringing that to the table. So in a couple weeks, I'll tell you the actual date if you guys want to put it on your calendars. You'll see it come out, but in a couple weeks, you're going to see us launch. I think it's the week of the 20th. It is the week of the 20th. We're going to, it'll be 9 a.m. California time. So if you want to put it in your calendar now before we send anything out so that nothing gets booked in there, just give me your time, focus with me, let me train you, and go after it. Okay. Go after it on that week. Like set yourself up mentally to be like, that gets to be a good financial win week for you. And we're also going to be talking about how you start thinking about Black Friday, because everybody's taking out their credit cards. Everybody. And so it's a great opportunity. Like the resistance to buy is low. We have been conditioned to buy presents, we've been conditioned to buy. Do you guys get that? Well, part of that means that if you're out there in front of people who need you, they're going to invest in themselves. And what I know about you is you're offering something that if they invested in themselves in this area and it was a priority, their life would be better over the holidays. So let's do our job as CEOs, as business owners, to systemize this and to plan accordingly so we're not trying to throw spaghetti up against the wall until the end of the year. Cool? Thumbs up. All right, you guys, keep your eyes open for the 20th. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.